Hi, this zebra dove is about 4 days old, and he's just starting to get his pin feathers, and I'm going to take him out of the nest, and that way I can put a new liner in the nest so that he can go back into a clean nest. He's pretty sleepy right now, but I gotta wake him up. He's starting to wake up. What I did was I put one of the refrigerated, preloaded syringes into just a little jar of hot tap water. And after I've soaked it for about a minute, I just shake it to distribute the temperature more. And then I test it on my wrist to make sure it's not too hot. It should feel about the temperature of a baby's bath water. Now, doves do not open their mouths to eat. Instead, they plunge their bills into their mother's or father's beak. So what I've done is take the end off of a medicine dropper, and this is sort of a silicone or rubber dropper, and I've cut a little hole in it. I don't know if you can see the hole. I'll try not to make it too big because I don't want the formula to drip out of it too much. But that's where the baby is going to put her little bill. And I'm going to advance this a little bit. This is a 3 milliliter syringe. I get them on Amazon. Actually, this little guy. See if he's actually hungry. So I usually will hold them in my hand. We'll see if he wants to put his bill in there. Sometimes when they're this young, I have to kind of guide their head because they have a hard time finding it. But once it's in there, then they'll start to drink. Now notice that I am angling the syringe down so that the top of it is more upwards. And notice that the baby is swallowing. So this is almost like the way a mammal would nurse. And she's drinking, or he's drinking. And then you'll see that, watch, sometimes they'll pull their bill out, but sometimes they'll also start to open their bill over and over, like that. And that means I have to plunge the syringe a little bit more so that there's more liquid to sip on. What he's really doing is using his bill like a straw and just sort of sipping this formula. Different babies have different personalities. Some are easier to feed than others. This one is pretty good at feeding. And he's been taking in almost 3 milliliters of feeding every 2 hours, even though he's only about 4 days old. That's about twice as much as some of the birds that I've raised. He's a good eater. So I'm just gonna fast forward now to what happens after he's done eating. So once the baby is finished eating, what I do is I tear off a little piece of paper towel. I usually put a piece of paper towel on the counter just to keep everything clean. And I dip it in the warm water that I had heated the syringe in. And then because the dove's bill is covered with formula, I just wipe it off so that it doesn't dry and clog up his nostrils. Sometimes it dribbles down onto their chest, and so I wipe it down there. But if you keep the syringe pointing this way, it won't be as messy. I want to show you that we know that this dove got some food into them because the little crop, which is a little balloon-like thing under the neck, you can actually see and feel how full of fluid it is. And you can actually even partly see it on the back here on the side. So we know that this bird got some food. I'm going to put him in his little nest, which is basically some curved paper towel that's been taped together. And then I'm just laying Kleenex inside it and putting it on a heating pad. And then to quickly clean up, all I'll do is rinse these off slightly. And then I don't have to worry about soap and water drying it because I just deposit them into this jar that's a mixture of water and chlorhexidine solution. And this sterilizes it and is very easy to rinse off when I'm ready to refill it. So it'll just stay in there until tomorrow when I put more food in it.